Hi, my name is Sandy Carter, and I'm Amazon Web Services Vice President for Public Sector Partners and Programs. I am also Chairman of the Board for Girls in Tech, so I love helping young girls around the world. And I must say this, I am mom for two daughters, two young ladies as well. We cover all the really cool areas. So we cover space. In fact, I had wanted to be an astronaut one day. I never made it to the moon, but I was just able to help Maxar, one of our partners. They did all the robotics on rover who went to Mars. We also cover government. So as you're hearing about different countries being vaccinated, much of that is being driven by Amazon Web Services. So millions of people around the world are being vaccinated because of the technology that's driving that management. We also help out with education, and I'm sure you've loved that remote learning. A lot of that was brought to you by AWS as well. AWS powers Zoom, which many of you guys use. We also have our own remote learning solutions as well that can help you. And then last but not least, we do a lot of business for not-for-profit. So Girls in Tech, very similar to Inspiring Girls, runs everything they do on AWS. And that helps college girls, as well as women who've started working, learn how to be entrepreneurs, do hackathons, all kinds of really interesting things around technology. So I have probably one of the coolest jobs at AWS, I must say. Well, I'm typically talking to customers and partners about our technology. So why is machine learning so fascinating? Or why do we put sensors on fashion? So we're looking at how the technology really can be used primarily to help countries, cities, states, you name it, hospitals, how we help them to really drive change. So I'll tell you one interesting story. It's actually based up in the UK. We have a partner up there who does 3D modeling for kidneys. And we were able to help them with our technology to be able to model faster. So we moved it from 6 weeks down to days. And so now the waiting list for people in hospitals waiting for kidneys has dramatically reduced. And in fact, the CEO, we don't do return on investment or ROI, but he does return on lives. So we have a really impactful, very purposeful business. What do I love most about my job is that I get to do different things all day long. I'm working with different technologies, different partners, different customers, different segments. And I also love the fact that what I do matters for society. I get to give back, so it's for purpose and for profit. I love that. I always want that to be a mantra of something that I do. Some of the challenging parts of my job is because it's technology, there's lots of guys around. I know some of you might like that, but it is tough sometimes working in a broke culture. So you have to, make sure that you are a confident individual and that you can hold your own sometimes in that broke culture. I would also say that some of the challenges that I deal with are things that maybe, you're not taught in school, like, how to manage relationships, how to manage finances, how to put together a really complicated deal. So some of those things as well are really interesting, but also challenging about what I do. It's great though. I would encourage all of you to at least learn about technology. Technology opens so many doors. Well, my journey was really interesting. So I first wanted to be an astronaut. And then I decided, maybe not, maybe medicine. I always wanted to help people. So Caroline, it was really interesting. I actually went to Duke University, a college here in the United States, to become a doctor. And I started studying all the chemistry and biology and everything that we had to do. Well, guess what? It turns out that when we ended up having to dissect live animals, all the chemicals that they use to put them under, all the anesthesia, I'm allergic to it. And what does it do? It causes me to pass out. So could you imagine your doctor coming into your doctor room and passing out before they even got to ask you questions? Probably not a good doctor. I was crushed because I had wanted to be a doctor. So, but my advisor at college was also an advisor in computer science. And he said, technology is going to open up so many doors. And so he gave me a project where I could look at testing these medications on the computer instead of on animals. One of my other very dear to my heart are animals. And so I did that and I was hooked. I decided technology was for me. And I applied technology in all kinds of things, which is one of the fun things about my role. You know, if you think about, I studied computer science and I studied math. I did like math. I know most of you probably don't, but I loved it because it opened up so many interesting problem-solving techniques. And computer science is fun too, because, you know, now you've got no code and low code so that you can really create things on your own that would never happen. So one of my favorite things is a ring that I have, which has IoT sensors built in it. And you can code it to change color and do all this kind of cool stuff. Like what else? It's the closest thing to magic that I know is programming. And so I loved programming, but what I found out really quickly was that one of my superpowers was being able to explain technology to others. And so I left the hard coding to become a sales leader, a marketing leader, a strategy leader, to really define new products. And so my career has taken a number of pivots, but like I said, I went from wanting to be an astronaut to helping my partners get to Mars and work with robotics and on Mars. I went to wanting to be a doctor to now helping doctors with all of our technology, help them become better surgeons, increase the cure rate for cancer or catching cancer early, or even COVID. So sometimes you start out dreaming about one thing and you take pivots that might seem to be something that is a discouragement. But if you stick in there, sometimes what will happen in the end is you'll actually reach your dreams. I've spoken in front of 40,000 people before, and I used to almost throw up before a book report in front of 10 of my friends. So, I think you build courage by experiences. I didn't go from doing a book club with 8 people to 40,000 people. And so you take little steps and you say, okay, I'm going to try to speak here. I'm going to speak there and get better. The same thing is true of questions. One of the things that I've learned is that if you think of the question, there's somebody else who also has a question. So you're actually doing something good. You're asking the question on behalf of others. And if you think about it that way, instead of I'm going to look stupid or everybody's going to think I don't know anything because I asked this question, but instead, so many other people will have the same question that I have. It kind of gives you confidence, and it also helps you to help others, I think. Anyway, that's how I look at it. I ask questions so that others will also hear the answer, but I want to learn the answer. I'm curious as well.